He might be here. I don't know.
Alright, Shalom. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Alright, Shalom, Yasha Allah. We are the Hebrew Israelites, and we back, alright, with a live lesson or a session, alright, for the sheep, man, or the lambs. So with that, I want to say, Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. All right, for giving us the inspiration and motivation to do this lesson, man. Salutations to the brothers and sisters that magnify this truth on the four corners of the earth and have given a body as a living sacrifice, and double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who, through the Spirit, taught most of Israel, man, right? And we are the brothers in the 716 area, right? So, and the topic that we're going to touch on is basic understanding, all right, of brotherhood. Because when you come into the truth, you can't come in here as a nigga, man, right? You got to, the scriptures say, and this is one of the first lessons that you learn when you come into this truth, is to change, you know, you got to put away that old man, right? Because the old man, you know, he could have been anything in the street, man. He could have been a murderer, right? He could have been a loud mouth of the South, man, right? A babbler, you know, a thief, man, right. You know, a criminal. You know, you can't bring that kind of behavior into the truth, because once you get around likewise brothers, you want to conduct yourself as such, right? You don't want to come in this thing and you stealing from brothers, or you know, every time a brother tell you something, right, you running back telling the next person the info, man.
Right, Salakia,
right?
And that's why, you know, the Most High gotta try, man. Gotta try the brothers, you know, like gold, man. They gotta get all of the impurities out, because we've been, what's the word I'm looking for? We've been indoctrinated in Babylon's, you know, wicked society, man, too much, that now we have conformed to what they doing. You know what I'm saying? We've conformed to their ways, right? We've conformed to the ways of America and of Babylon, right? And we see that forth, so we got to shake that off. The Most High's got to refine us. He's got to take that impurities off of us to make us shine.
I got a precept real quick. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 9. Why not one to another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. So we got to understand, man, when we come in this thing, man, we got to put off the old man, the old ways we used to be moving, and we got to learn to become men. Right. We can't be in that same childish mentality, man. Right?
Right.
I got another one, too, real quick.
Because you don't want to be like I said, like I once mentioned, you don't want to be a nigga, man, around the ministry, man, right? Because ultimately, you're going to stand out, right? And most of the time, the Most High going to get you up out of there, man. Because the whole purpose of coming into this thing is change, right? And leveling up, and like the brother Akai just went into, you want to be a man. Not a nigga or, you know, a 2/3, because we can't have that in the kingdom. And right now, we're supposed to be what? Practicing. We're supposed to be rehearsing, man. Rehearsing the righteous acts, man. Right?
I got another one. This is 1 Corinthians 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. Right. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. So we got to be understanding that, man. Before, man, some of this stuff might have flew in the world, man. But in this truth, you can't, everything ain't going to fly how they used to, man. You got to deal accordingly, man. I'm going to jump to another one, too. Right, this is 1 Corinthians 14, verse 40, man. Right, Salakia. Right, and it says, let all things be done decently in order, man. You got to know how to have the proper order when you're dealing with brothers, man. You can't just be out here just running your mouth, man, and being a tailbearer talebearer or a babble mouth and everything, man, you gotta know how to use discretion, man. Right?
Right.
Because what you want to do is, right, you want to gain the trust of your fellow, man. Right? Don't the scriptures go into, matter of fact, it's, what is that? So,
Sirach 6 and 9.
Yeah, it says to prove a friend, man. So you suppose in that proving ground, right? You want to gain trust. You don't want to rub the man. Get caught.
This is Sirach chapter 6 verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
Right. So you want to prove a friend, right? And you got to know that that person that you're proving, they're proving you back. So you want to gain trust. You don't want to be a man, all right, who's untrustworthy with words, right? With anything, man. You want to be a man that a brother can come to and know that whatever it is that he speak to you, you're not going to reveal his secrets, man.
Right.
Because the scriptures say that. All right? Don't be a talebearer, man. Right? Go ahead.
And be not hasty to credit him.
And that's why it's very important that brothers be not hasty to credit a brother. Like we've just made a new, as we establish our new guidelines and rules, right? That's something that we meditate on as a camp, man. Right? Not being so not being so hasty to credit brothers, man. And furthermore, I'm in the spirit to where I don't even really care for new members, man. Right? I'd rather roll with 6 or 7 lions than 100 sheep, man. Right? 6 or 7 solid brothers, right? That's all you really need, man. Right? A handful. Because you got new brothers that come around and they come in here, right? With secret, what you call it, agendas, man. Right?
I got something real quick. This is going off of like keeping a secret, right? This is Sirach chapter 22, verse 22. If thou hast opened thy mouth against thy friend, fear not, for there may be a reconciliation, except for upbraiding or pride or disclosing of secrets or a treacherous wound. For these things every friend will depart, man. Woo! So you gotta know how to keep your mouth shut, man. When a brother telling you something out of like coming to you, like if a brother coming to you
to confide in you,
right? If a brother coming to confide in you, man, yeah.
What was it?
Sirach 22:22. If a brother confiding in you and he coming to you, trusting you that you're not gonna go run your mouth, man, you gotta keep that, man. Brothers shouldn't have to really say, yo, bro. Well, I say between me and you, man, that stay between me and you, man. You should have that discretion, man. That's the spirit, man. You should know when a brother telling you something personal that you can't be running off, oh, yeah, this brother over here doing that, this brother over here doing that. Nah, man, that's between you and the brother, man. And you should be praying for the brother instead of making a mockery out of the brother.
And even in the street, man, before you come into this truth, you learn that.
Right.
Because when you out on the street, right, you learn not to play both sides of the fence, man.
Right.
Or you learn really fast not to be running down info, man. Right? Because everybody will look at you funny. You'll be that dude that when you walk up, everybody just sit there and look at you, man. Won't say nothing because you're not trustworthy with the information, man. Right? You are, what is it? What they say? Like Reuben, man. You unstable as water, man.
Right. Like you're a blabbermouth, man. You can't hold water, man.
Right.
I got something else. This is James chapter 5, verse 16, right? Because you want to be able to go to a brother and confide in him, right? So this is James 5, verse 16. Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much, man. So we want to be able to come to a brother and tell him, yo, brother, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. And we don't want to have to hear it in front of everybody, being exposed to the whole world of our faults, man. We're not perfect in this thing, man. We're not going to be perfect till Yahweh Shai get back, man. Right. That's why we got to know, we got to have the brothers we could go to. So when we down and out, man, they can help us out, man. Because a brother going to lift you up, man. Right?
God, this is, you got something? Go ahead. Yeah, you got it.
I'm gonna just get straight to the point, right? Sirach 41 and 23, right? When you read Sirach 41, it go into being shamefaced as a man of the Lord, right? But when you read down, it give you things to not be ashamed of and things to be ashamed of, right? And the last thing is verse 23. It says of iterating and speaking again that which thou hast heard, and of revealing of secrets. Right? So you should be ashamed of taking information that you heard from somebody else and going and telling the next person whose ears it wasn't meant for. You should be ashamed of having information about somebody and they come and confide in you, and the next thing you do is go tell somebody else behind the back. Now you being a talebearer, you going off. That's law. You ain't supposed to be running back and forth speaking to other men's lives, right? I've been looking for that in Sirach. I can't find it. But it say, speak not of other men's life, and if thou cannot offend, it's something like that. But yeah, like you should be ashamed to do those things, right? You going off. That's was it Leviticus 19:16. Don't be a talebearer. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer, right? You doing that? You operating in the spirit of Satan, right? I got one more. Matter of fact. We'll go to
The Sirach 19:8.
19:8. Alright, I got you.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 19, right? In verse 8, it says, I'm
gonna start at 6. I got it.
Come.
This you can break it down though. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 6. It says, "He that can rule his tongue shall live without strife, and he that hateth babbling shall have less evil."
See, a person that, and that goes into, that reminds me of the scripture where it says, a man who can't rule his own spirit is like a broken down city, man.
Without walls.
Without walls,
Yeah.
right? But this is going into, you ruling over your own tongue. That way you won't, because your tongue can lead you into death, man, and put you in all kind of problems and situations. That's how you think women get men put up in all kind of situations. That's a woman attribute, man. Women gossip all day and constantly feed into drama, man.
It's effeminate, man.
Right.
I got a precept for that real quick, right? Proverbs chapter 13, verse 3. "He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction." So that's plain. You don't know, half the time you might not even know who you really talking to. You might think you're revealing information to somebody that, boom, ace boom coon day one, and he the nigga that's gonna snake you. He the nigga that's gonna turn you over to, the authorities when all hell break loose. He the one that's gonna, he gonna stab you in the back.
And Yahweh Shai warned us of that. He said, beware of those who crept in unaware, man. Right. So you gotta have your eyes open, man. Right? You gotta keep your the grass cut, like they say in the world, the wise saying. Keep your grass cut.
Right.
Yeah.
And
right?
Sometimes it's better just to keep your mouth shut. I got a precept real quick. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 28. Right. It says, "Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding," man. So, you gotta sometimes understand, man, like if a brother comes to you and says something to you, hey, sometimes it's better just to hold your peace. Don't blab all that business out, right? I got another one, right? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 6. It said, "A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes," man. So sometimes the things you can get said can get your ass whooped. Basically what the scriptures is saying, man. Right? So I'm going to read that again. It says, Proverbs 18 and 6, "A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes." Right? Verse 7, "A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are a snare to his soul," man. Right. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just got to hold your peace when you deal with it.
If you a mouthy brother, if you grew up in the hood or the ghetto, you had it tough growing up. Right. Because they'll pick on you, man. They'll say, "Oh, such and such can't hold water, man."
Right.
Right.
That's why I call it strokes. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean?
What they say. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I'm gonna go back to Sirach chapter 19.
Loose lips sink ships.
Loose lips sink ships.
Proverbs 18
Loose
6.
lips, things shit.
7.
I got something else that go right with that.
Good.
So this is Proverbs 21, verse 23. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from trouble, man.
Right.
That go right with that, man.
Right.
And the scriptures show you over and over again, you gotta watch what you saying. You gotta watch what come out of your mouth, right? How shall I even let us know? It's the things that come out of your mouth that defile them, man. Right. The way people perceive you as a man of the Lord can be tainted based off of what you said. Right.
And you gotta have discretion about yourself, man.
Right.
I'm gonna go in on this again. This Sirach 19 verse 7. Yeah, verse 7. It says, rehearse not unto another that which is told unto thee, and thou shalt fear never the worst. So it's a theme. The Lord keep telling us, yo, don't be running here and there telling such and such so and so business, right? If they confided in you with this, or if they felt, they could trust you with this information, keep that between y'all. That brother, he look at you as somebody he can come to with that information, because once you spill that information and then get back to him, he gonna hate you.
Right.
Right.
I got a precept. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 28, in verse 13. It says, curse the whisperer and the double tongue, for such have destroyed many that were at peace. Right? So the brother came to you, in some kind of consolidation, and then you get that out, man, and now, you got contention, right? Reading on in verse 14, it says, a backbiting tongue have disquieted many and driven them from nation to nation. Strong cities has it pulled down and overthrown the houses of great men. A backbiting tongue have cast out virtuous women and deprived them of their labors. Whoso hearkeneth unto it shall never find rest and never dwell quietly, because you always running your mouth, man. You always gonna have to be running from the trouble of your babbling mouth, man. You know what I'm saying?
Your mouth is like a consuming fire.
Right. It says, I'm just going to jump down to verse 18. It says, many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not so as many as have fallen by the tongue. Right? And that's just basically what that's going into. You know what I'm saying?
That's the spirit.
So
I was gonna put it like,
That's exactly how high school women conduct themselves. That's why they always in some type of beef. Because high school women, all they do is
gossip.
La 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 la.
Gossip.
Right.
Oh, you men of the Lord.
Yeah.
You supposed to be men of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, so this is Sirach 19 and verse, I'm going to start at 7 again. It says, rehearse not unto another that which is told unto thee, and thou shalt fare never the worst. Whether it be to friend or foe, talk not of other men's lives, and if thou canst without offense, reveal them not. For he heard and observed thee, and when time cometh, he will hate thee. Right? So, if word get back around that you done spilled water, right? You couldn't keep your mouth shut about something that they done told you, right? Now, everybody that you associated with knows something that he only told you. It's gonna get back to him. He gonna look at you like, I can't tell this brother nothing. I don't want to be around this brother. I can't talk to this brother no more.
A brother will test you, man. A brother will test you just to see
Right.
where it's going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mention something to you and don't say it to nobody else and see how it get back to him. Right. I have precept too.
I got one more. This verse 10. It say, if thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee, and be bold. It will not burst.
Read that again.
I was shy said, take it to the grave.
Right. Read that
It says,
again.
if thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee, and be bold. It will not burst thee. Right. And I got another piece that just came to my mind.
That's fire right there.
That's fire.
Yo, literally, Yahweh Shai just said, take it to the fucking grave, man.
Right.
Yeah, man.
That's fire right there, man.
It's like, yo,
What is that?
Sirach 19 and 10.
Sirach get in there.
Yeah.
Sirach get in there, man. But hey, it was for your ears only. So you hold on to that information. It ain't for everybody else. If somebody wanted everybody else to know it, they would have said it to everybody.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody come to you one-on-one, keep that amongst you. If you in a group, keep that in the group. That's between y'all. Everybody outside the group should know that. Everybody across town should know what you said right here in this house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What was that again?
Sirach 19 and 10.
That's fine.
You had one?
Yeah, I have something real quick. This is Sirach chapter 27, verse 11. The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom, but a fool changes as the moon. If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time. So you got if you're around those that ain't got no discretion, man, you gotta know when you could say something and know when you could say certain things, man. You gotta be like, this brother be burning his mouth, so I shouldn't say this around here.
You shouldn't have to hold your tongue amongst your brothers.
Right.
You should be able to divide amongst your brothers.
And that's why to finish off the verse it says,
1:27.
but be among men of understanding. So you gotta understand, man, you can't be just running your mouth over everything, man. Sometimes you just gotta be like, yo, alright, this is between me and the brothers, man, not between somebody, man. You said 19 or what?
I did 7 through 10.
It's more in it.
It's a whole lot. That whole chapter is fire.
You might have to base. We might have to
It's another precept that came to my mind. Lord willing, it come back to me. But this I got this real quick. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Right. I'm gonna jump to verse 7. It says a time to rent and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. So you gotta be able to discern the times. You gotta be able to read the room. You gotta actually understand what situation you in. Right? The Lord gave you this wisdom so you can operate with it. Right? That's how you exercise the wisdom. You got to take the wisdom that the Lord gave you and apply it to your daily life. You can't just read these things. You know you're not supposed to be talking this stuff. You know you're not supposed to be going back and forth saying X, Y, and Z or, spilling other men's business, but yet you're doing it. Because now you're a hypocrite amongst men.
Right, and that's what most men, normally do. Like, you don't just blabber out stuff. And that's emotional. You know what I'm saying? Men kind of think about what they say before they say it. You know what I'm saying? How is this going to affect? How would this do that? You got to internalize. You can't just blab out stuff or whatever. You know what I mean?
You got something else too. My bad. This is Matthew chapter 12. Mark chapter 12, verse 34. And when Yahushua saw that he answered discreetly, he said unto him, thou art not far from the kingdom of God. And so basically, when you got discretion, man, that's pressing toward the kingdom, man. Yeah, having discretion is what we gonna need in these last days, man. Because when the government start coming in and start running in our houses, man, and brothers is running their mouths like, no, it wasn't me, it was that brother, and it was this brother, man. You don't want that brother around you, man. You want to make sure that brothers know how to use discretion, man.
Right.
That's why it say the Most High gonna give you the answer in that time when you giving up to the magistrates, man, and people in high places.
Right. And we got to learn from Yahushua, man. Right. What did Yahushua do when he was getting kind of questioned and all that stuff?
I'll say it. Right? That's what you saying, man.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 15, and verse 2. And Pilate asked him, art thou the king of Jews? And he answering said unto him, thou sayest. Right? That's all he said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yahushua was a G with it,
thou
man.
sayest, man. He had to say, well, listen, back when I was 6, I did this. And then when I was 10, hey, me and the homies, and we did all this. No, man, hey, thou sayest. You know what I'm saying?
I got it. Damn.
So
I gotta pull this first real
my
quick.
bad. That held so much weight because the pilot and all the Edomites, man, they chose to put King of the Jews on the cross.
Right.
So that held weight, man.
He tried to change it. He said, nah, this is what I'm putting, so this is
Right.
what I'm putting.
You don't have to be a man of many words, man.
Right.
All you got to just say,
That's the spirit. Right?
That's fine.
I got a couple, but I'm gonna. This is the book of Sirach, and I want Dan to get in here because he's been waiting for a second.
You good.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 32, verse 7. It says, speak, young man, if there be need of thee, and yet scarcely when thou art twice asked. So you don't have to be the first one to say something or the last one to say something every time the room gets silent.
That's going into vainglory.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't just. You don't have to have that center of attention. You don't got to be the focal point of the show. You don't got to have the limelight all the time, right?
Right.
Verse 8, it says, let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words, be as one that knoweth and yet holdeth his tongue. So, hey, it's plain. If we all having a discussion and, everybody going around the table, you don't got to be the first to speak your mind. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to talk for 20 minutes had everybody sitting there like, I don't even want to listen to this no more because he just rambling on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The more words you speak, the more vain your words become.
Because you're hearing yourself talk.
Yeah.
It becomes foolery. It sounds good
Yeah.
to you. You just keep going.
Yeah,
Man.
and that's the thing. Like a lot of people, they just like to hear themselves talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not the spirit you want to be in, right? That's not the spirit that the men of the Lord should be in.
Right.
Verse 9, it says, if thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them, and when ancient men are in place, use not many words.
Woo!
Right? And I go back into, how should I even exercise that wisdom? He knew his place at that time.
Right.
He know, I'm the king of the Jews, but I ain't got to tell you that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He even told Pilate, he said, hey, if I really wanted to, what did he say? He said, hey, your power come from my Father.
Right.
Right? He let Peter, if I wanted to, I could let legions come down and rain hell on these people. Right? He know what it was, but he understood the time and the place. He understood it was a season for the things that he was going amongst, right? He was discerning those times. Right? And then I got this real quick. This is the book of Job, chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 30. It says, is there iniquity in my tongue? Cannot my taste discern perverse things? So your mouth should be you should have your mouth trained to the point where you know certain things shouldn't be said. Certain things, and if I'm not mistaken, James said every man tongue slip. That might be Sirach though. A wise man know when he slippeth, right? Mm-hmm. So your tongue, you might have your tongue trained to an extent, and then it'd be like, damn, I shouldn't have said that.
What is that?
That's Job 6 and 30.
And I seen, for example, I seen an apostle do that earlier. He caught himself. He said, "Yo, that's Satan." What I just said.
Yeah, but that's a wise man understanding when he's slipping. Right.
And I got that one. This is the book of Job, chapter 6, verse 24. It says, "Teach me, and I will hold my tongue, and cause me to understand where I have erred."
That's right.
So if you take heed to these words, you know what I'm saying, you would know to shut your mouth, man.
Okay.
It's that simple.
I think is it Wisdom of Solomon?
The Lord wants you to play it raw, man.
Nope, I got it. Salakia. You got it because you've been waiting for a minute.
And Salakia, it's like the Lord held on to that G code, man. A lot of morals and values you learn from the street.
It's biblical.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the spirit.
We do it through
A
the
lot of
spirit.
Jake don't know that.
Right.
Now this Philippians chapter 1 verse 27, it says, only let your conversation be as it becometh the gospel of Yahweh Shai, that rather I come and see you, or else be absent. So don't be just getting into any gospip.
Right.
Your words should be short, and you should be more into the gospel, right? It says that rather I come and see you, or else be absent. It says, I may hear of your affairs. So the Lord said, I hear when you talking about another man or running down his bit. The Lord got got the angels watching the whole goddamn universe, man. Right? So you can't get away with nothing. The Most High know when you a babbler or you a teller or you just, a snitch, man. Right? It says, I may hear of your affairs, that ye stand fast in one spirit. The Lord wants us to stay fast in one spirit, right? We should be. And that comes, you know what? That goes into brothers being bored, sitting around not doing nothing all day. So you just sit around and then you get into gossip because you letting Satan come in. When you working or you constantly in the scriptures or you taking care of your daily duties as a man, you don't got time to be gossiping. You don't have time to be running down somebody else's business, man. Right. You got to stay occupied, man. Right? Those are traits of a woman, man.
Sure.
I got a couple real quick.
That was it.
You hear?
This book of Sirach, chapter 28. This book of Sirach, chapter 28, and verse. I'm gonna start at 25, right? It's I ain't gonna lie, this one I love Sirach, bro. This chapter 5. Yeah, I'm gonna just get to it. Verse 25 it says, "And weigh thy words in a balance, and make a door and a bar for thy mouth." Right? So you gotta be able to weigh your words. You gotta know right from wrong. You gotta discern. You gotta have that taste for perverse things in your tongue to know what should be coming out, what shouldn't be coming out. Right? You gotta have that discernment of what choice of words should I use. Right? Even if you use the wrong words, you gotta be able to catch yourself and understand. You know what I'm saying? You might not catch it at that moment in time. Shalom, King.
You can pull up one of those chairs right here.
But you gotta be able to, you gotta basically be able to discern, what words you're using, right? And then,
I had something real quick. Going back to what Daniel said about how we was moving with the G code pretty much. The Lord gave us the G code. So this is Romans 2 verse 14. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves, man. So, man, through the Spirit, man,
we've been doing this stuff.
Went through the law, man. Even though we offer other aspects, man, when we moving through the Spirit, man, it just happens that way, man. We'll tell our young kings that they can't be wanting to be little girls, and pink is for girls, man. You ain't supposed to be wearing pink. That's what every person in the hood be saying, man. Right. That ain't just like, oh, that's a miracle way. I'm gonna let my kid be a tree if they want to be a tree. Right. Man, to hell with that, man. My mom ain't playing with that. My dad ain't playing with that, man. Right. That's a spirit, man. Right. And
that's a good point.
That code is throughout the scriptures the whole time. Right. Mm-hmm. This it's the book of Titus chapter 2, and I'm just starting at verse 1. It says, But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Right? It says that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, and charity, and patience. It says the aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things. And hey, that's the women too. Not only should the men have control over their mouths and the words that you speaking, right, but also the women, right? But you would really expect gossip and just babbling at the mouth. Those are things that women do, and you expect those from women, but they need to cut that out too, right? Your women shouldn't be hearing everything you saying, or you shouldn't be relaying everything to your woman.
So like the scriptures say, don't teach evil lesson against thyself to your woman, and it also goes into don't tell your right hand what your left hand doing. Right. Don't tell your left hand what your right hand doing. Right? Because you gotta keep those things completely separated. Like Biggie said, it don't mix, man.
Right, and you paraphrased this earlier. You got something, sir? You paraphrased this earlier, but I'm going to get right into it. It's Leviticus 19:16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am Yahweh. So we can't. It's in the law, man. You can't be out here talebearing and stuff, man. You gotta deal rightly, man. Come on, man.
So every time you do that, you robbing your friend of trust. Right. That's what you're doing. You basically robbing your friend from trust. And the scriptures speak on us what? Being unequally yoked. So if you doing those things, then you're unequally yoked. The Bible tells us also to be on one accord. So we all got to be on one accord. And that goes all the way back down to being a babbler or a busybody, man. You can't be that kind of way in the brotherhood, man.
Titus chapter 2, verse 4, it says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, right? Chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed, right? And that discretion right here in context is talking to the women, but that discretion, you see that throughout the scriptures completely. You got to be discreet. You got to know how to discern the times. You got to discern certain situations. You got to know when to do this. You got to know when to do that, right? Ecclesiastes 3, go into it. It lists all types of things. You got to know it's a purpose and a time for every single thing that you're going through. Right. So you got to be able to have that wisdom that the Lord impart unto you and use it in those situations. y'all got it.
I got some. This is Psalm chapter 141, verse 3. And this is David right here, man. It says, set a watch, O Yahweh, before my mouth. Keep the doors of my lips. Right. So David had to pray to the Most High, man, that he make sure he's not speaking in error, man. And he said, yo, keep a watch over my mouth, man. So I ain't talking ignorantly, man. Or I ain't speaking unjustly or doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing, running my mouth, man. Come on, man. You gotta know how to use that discretion, man. And then oftentimes when I send one up, man, I ask the Lord to put the words in my mouth that he want me to say, man. Right. So that I ain't out here just speaking in vanity, man. You know what I'm saying, man?
A lot of Jake, man, we like to, like it said, to do good, we have no knowledge. So, you know, we think that speaking uprighteously or upright is the way of the white man. But that's not true, because we're the original doctors, we're the original lawyers and physicians. So speaking upright, man, that's a good thing. That's the nature that we have. That come from us. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to read this scripture. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupt good manners. So just having evil communication, listening to evil music, right? It could corrupt good mannerism, and now you don't have that spirit or that mannerism of Yahweh Shai that what he's telling you to instill when you're dealing with the brotherhood.
Right? And that's a good point, because when you become a part of the brotherhood, that's a gift. Right. And you don't want to tear up your gift that the Most High gave you by being a murmurer, man.
Right. And you don't want to be in there like trying to always get into, what happened? What did he say? Right. You know, trying to hear all the juicy gossip. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of go back and take it back and use it as ammo.
And we are aware that the scriptures say that open rebuke is better than secret love, but you can't take it out of context. Right. A lot of times when you have a dispute with a brother, you got to go to him and rebuke him alone. That's that's Matthew the 18th chapter, man. You don't go and just because you got a dispute with a brother, you go on Facebook about him, or you go in front of the whole congregation and just babble out your business, man. You're supposed to go to that brother. I know the brother put it up. You got it.
I was about to give it Matthew 18.
Come bring that up
real quick, because even if you don't put a name on it, right? I'm pretty sure there's multiple people in the room that know what you're talking about. Right. You don't gotta say a name for it to be direct. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's a part of discerning what's really going on. Because you may think, oh yeah, ain't nobody gonna know what I'm talking about, or everybody right here may know what I'm talking about, but nobody else gonna know what I'm talking about. But by process of elimination, people can figure those things out. Yeah.
Especially if you don't, if you known to do that. Brother's gonna look, well, who's this person talking about today? Because you've been known in the past to do things like that. So that's being marked. The scriptures say, mark those that cause division.
I'm gonna get that real quick. This is Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother, man. Right. So you gotta keep it between the brothers, man. And then if the brother is still not hearing you, then you go to the other brothers and tell them like, yo, man, I tried to tell his brother he was going off. He ain't hearing me, so I'm gonna tell you what he told me. And then if you agree with what I'm saying,
precept real quick. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 29. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. So especially the men amongst Israel, man, like you got to be really willing only to deal with the ministry and giving answers, thus say the Most High God. You don't really have enough time to be dealing in folly and non-profitable matters, right? Because you got to be a leader to the weaker vessels and to the rest of Israel, right? Because it says, but that which is good to the use of edifying. So you should be going back to the words, to the Most High God word, then there all the time when you come conflicted or you dealing with a brother and things getting out of hand. You got to get back to the edifying the brothers, because that's what we in this thing for, right? It says, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. So we seeking salvation, so we want to minister grace to our brotherhood, man. We don't want to cause up confliction and be all into that madness, man.
Yeah, because that kind of shows that you have a weak spirit. Because if you gotta, every time you told something, you gotta tell it to the whole goddamn world.
Right.
You like that pressure when it goes through the pipe, and that weak part of the pipe may bust.
Exposed.
You know, you can't be that part of the pipe that's gonna bust, man. It's leaking.
Or even like it's a saying like you only as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that link always tend to break. You know what I'm saying? When you put that pressure on it, then you making the rest of us in the body also fall.
Right.
Like we all members of the body. So if the mouth is just babbling on and on and on, hey, the mouth can get the leg shot off. The mouth can get the arm shot off. The mouth can get the whole body
It's
put to death.
It's just like, you know, because I work around hydraulic cylinders, and if your whole body, you can have the whole body of a cylinder, but if it's one part that's leaking, that oil is the oil, and then we supposed to have the oil, man.
Right.
Our body's supposed to have the oil, so if it's a little part of that cylinder leaking, it's a bad cylinder, man. Right?
Did y'all bring up?
I got a precept though. This Sirach 19 and Sirach chapter 19 and verse 15. It says, "Admonish a friend, for many times it is a slander." So you don't want to every time you admonish a friend, right? Talking behind a friend back, it's a slander. Right? If you're going to mention your friend behind his back, let it be of good things.
I was about to say,
right? Of a good cause.
If you look at it another way, right? Like, you supposed to admonish a friend. So if you hear something about your friend, you supposed to be like, yo, you know, I heard such and such. Is that true? Because it might not be true. You know what I'm saying? People spread rumors all the time. So you might take something you heard from somebody and then you might look at somebody and be like, yeah.
That's the spirit. It says, admonish a friend. This is the next home. Yeah, okay, so let me finish. It says, admonish a friend, for many times it is a slander. It says, and believe not every tale.
Exactly. So
you know?
You can't believe everything you hear, right? And especially if you known for being that babbler, when you go and tell somebody something, they might not even really take what you saying into consideration for they might just blow it up and be like, yeah, he always talking some shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's why it's good to have too. But even if you got a witness, like you may be a witness. And we know right now that really don't hold too much weight because we got Yahweh Shai. So now it's hearsay at that point. He said, she said, oh, he said it. So I don't really care about what he had to say.
Right.
There's more on that, or
admonish thy friend, for many times it is Salakia. 16 it says, there is one that slippeth in his speech. But not from his heart.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Catch yourself.
So it's like he may mess up and say something he ain't really mean to say, but he know like, damn, I know I shouldn't have said that.
It's like I was saying.
You know what I'm saying? You catch yourself. I think it's more on that.
It says, and who is he that has not offended with his tongue?
So everybody done said something that offended somebody at some point in time, right? Like, matter of fact, I'm about to get it now. This is the book of James, right? Chapter 3 and verse 4. I'm going to start at 4. It says, behold, also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Right? It says, verse 5, even so the tongue is a little member. It says, even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, it says, behold, verse 5, it says, even so the tongue is a little member and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth, right? So just like a boat is a little thing in the ocean, right? Or like a leaf is a little thing blown in the wind, the tongue is the same thing, right? And it causes like great turmoil, destruction, fire, right? You can lose your life for the words that come out of your mouth.
Precept, King.
Real quick.
Precept, Proverbs. I thought you were saying real quick on the
It says, verse 6, it says, and the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue amongst our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. Right? So the tongue is literally the most destructive thing on our bodies, bro. Like the tongue is literally the most destructive thing that corrupts us, like the brother was bringing out earlier, right? That evil communication, that is what's gonna corrupt you. How should I let us know? It's the things that come out of your mouth, the words that you speak, because they show the intents of the heart, right? There's one more. It says, two more. It says, verse 7, for every kind of beast. It says, for every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and things in the sea is tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Right? So you can't really tame your tongue. Right? The scriptures tell us, hey, everybody done offended with the words out of their mouth, with their tongue at some point. You can't really tame your tongue. Sometimes you just slip up. But, hey, you supposed to pray to the Lord. Yeah, you're supposed to pray to the Lord to the best to, set those bars over your mouth.
This is Sirach 19:30. It says, a man's attire and access laughing and gate, Salakia, show what he is. So gate mean the way he move. You know what I'm saying? And it says it shows who you are. So if you one of those brothers that's moving funny and talk funny all the time, it shows who you are. That's why it says don't be given to excess laughter, because you'll be looked at as a clown.
I was gonna let me back a little bit too off of how certain things go into heresy, right? Because you can't go off of one witness and what they say. You gotta go off of what 2 or 3 say. So this is Deuteronomy 17:6. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, and at the mouth of 1 or 2 witnesses he shall not be put to death. So even going off of that, life and death is the power of a tongue, man. So a man could bring up false accusation on you, but if it's just one man, you can't. That's the law right there, man. You can't go and just go off one person's word. Like with Susanna, man. Yeah. And Daniel was like, yo, man, let's put these 2 people in a different room, and they was elders, man. But, and he was like, yo, they got 2 different stories, man. One said it's an oak tree, the other said it's another tree.
About the baby example.
I was gonna say Salaki, and they even had the 2 witnesses, right? And they was gonna put Susanna to death, right?
Right.
But Daniel was able to discern the time, the situation that was going on at the time, and what did he do? He separated them. He said, hey, he used his words to convince people, yo, let's actually get to the bottom of this, right? We're going to separate them. We're going to see who slip up at the tongue.
And they both slipped up. One said it was a fern tree. One said it was an oak tree.
Exactly.
Right. And that's the thing. When you slander somebody's name, man, that's like your name is important in the Bible, right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 1. It says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. So, your name means a lot, man. That's like, in the world, your word is everything that you got. When you ain't got your word, hey, what do you have?
That's your reputation.
They say, man, word is bond, man.
Word is bond, right?
They were saying in the 90s, man.
Right.
Word is bond, man.
You go out and slander a man's name. 22 and 1.
Yeah, I got it. This Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 1 says, a good name is better than precious ointment in the day of death than the day of one's birth, right? So your name. Hey, your name is what you embody, right? When you read through the scriptures, our forefathers got these names because that's what they embody, right? Israel, Yasha Allah, he Prince Power of God, right? Prince Power of God, right? That's what he embodies. So if your name is attached to babbler, if your name is attached to talebearer, if your name is attached to secret spiller or snitch, you know what I'm saying? Even in the streets, if you go in the streets and everybody know you a snitch, hey, you either ain't gonna be there that long or nobody gonna be around.
Fuck away,
yeah.
And you can't get that off of your
You
name.
never know what's going on.
Exactly.
And to go off of what you just said, man, when you got a good name, man, that brings praise to you, man. Like, people be like, yo, man, that's a good dude right there.
Right.
Oftentimes you'll hear that about a lot of brothers in the truth, man. Yeah, man, these is good brothers right here. Right. So this is Sirach 44, verse 1. It says, let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begat us, man. Because I'm going to keep on going. Yahweh have wrought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning, man. So that's a good thing, man, to have a good name, man, and to be known for standing on your P's, man, and Q's, man. Like, you gotta know and you gotta have that discretion, man. You can't just be out here like running your mouth and then you dry snitching on a brother, and then now you got some stuff out there that ain't true, or it might be true, but it's because of what you saying with your mouth, man.
I got one more real quick. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 46, verse 11. It says, and concerning the judges, right? Because when you continue on from 44, like the brother just started going into, is talking about all of our forefathers and the ways they carried themselves in righteousness to lead the people, right? It says, and concerning the judges, everyone by name whose heart went not a whoring, nor departed from the Lord, let their memory be blessed.
Woo.
Right? And their memory being blessed is, we can sit here and we can read about Abraham. We can sit here and we can read about Isaac, Jacob, David, Yahushua, Solomon, whoever, all of the men that's in this Bible that we read about to learn from, their memory is blessed. That memory of them is blessed. Their names are set up forever as a memorial unto the nation. Right?
And like it's also written for our learning. So we see accounts like Samson, where the woman was trying to get that information out. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And when she got it out of him, what she do? She went back and told the Philistines.
Right.
You want that?
Yeah, let's get that.
Yeah, that's a heavy account right there.
Yeah, because
Judges.
so much in a nutshell, man, like the brother Malachi was going into, was it saying that your tongue, or maybe it was you, your tongue can lead you to death, man. Because you running your mouth to a woman, you don't know what her plans is. We see that in the scriptures. She'll go and tell your damn enemies, man. Next thing you know, they got the drop on you, man. Hey, many men have lost their life in the hood like that, right? They call that pillow talking. You know.
I was about to say,
I got a couple. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, y'all want to just read through? Because
he can't get into that real quick. Hold on. We got to say that. It said, this Proverbs 15:4. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit, man. So if you twisting stuff up, man, you don't really got it, man. That's a breach, man. It's like you got hacked, man. You got a virus, man.
You are.
Come on, man. Yeah. Right? And then this is, I don't know if somebody got this, but this is Proverbs 18:21. It says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof, man. You got to be careful with how you talking out here, man. You can't just be
look how Satan beguiled Eve by running game on her, man.
Right.
He told her somewhat of the truth.
Yeah. He said, yo, you're not going to die if you eat it right now, but you're going to die eventually.
Right.
Like, he was playing with the words,
he
man.
said, hey, you're going to become like God.
Yeah, you
having knowledge of all things, man.
Right. It's them enticing words. And we see Satan use his words with perverseness, right? And you can be swindled. You can be persuaded by those words. You can easily be enticed by those things and cause destruction to fall upon yourself. Right? Damn, I don't even really know where I want. Let me see. This is the book of Judges. Is that even an account that I want?
I got one real quick.
Say
You
the
looking for that?
Go ahead.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 21, verse 28.
I found it.
A whisperer defileth his own soul, and his hatred wheresoever he dwelleth, right? So wherever you go, man, and you doing that whispering, and you just going to be looked at, like you said, brother, you're just going to be marked, man, wherever you go. And that's that brother that like to just talk about everybody's business and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Got that, man.
Alright, come. This is a book of Judges chapter 16. I'm gonna start from the top. So then went Samson to Gaza and saw there a harlot and went in unto her. It says verse 2. And it was told the Gezites, saying, Samson is come hither, and they compassed him in and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning when it is day, we shall kill him. And Samson lay till midnight and arose at midnight and took the doors. That's not what I want, is it?
You're looking for how she was
Delilah.
trying to continuously
Yeah,
deal with
later.
it. Tell him where his power is.
Yeah, I'm about to
Where
say.
am I in
I
the
got
power?
it. It says, I'm sorry, verse 4. It says, and it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and said unto her, entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee, right? And he kind of gave it a run around that first, right? I'm gonna jump to verse 12. It says, Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee.
So she was playing both
She was
sides.
playing both sides, yeah. She was playing both sides. She got him to spill the beans. You know what I'm saying? Now she done set him up. Hey, and you see Eve do that in the world today. All you gotta do, she gonna say something nice. She gonna make it sound good. You'll pull up. Bring up, blah, 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 blah. Hey, I done, you know what I'm saying? Brothers in the world have been in situations.
Lil Wayne him and Kendrick made a whole song about
The
that.
Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Watch out for those Mona Lisas,
Yeah.
man. They'll get you, man.
You know what I'm saying?
But even if you look at it in the New Testament, the account with Ananias, how he and his woman tried to be,
Hiding the money.
they tried to,
They tried to finesse Peter
Yeah.
and them. Yeah.
so that wasn't brotherly love, man.
That's 5.
And I'm led to believe,
That's
5. I'm led to believe that woman talked him into doing that, man.
Yeah, because even afterwards, she was alive and he was dead, man.
And she still was lying about
She was
it.
still lying about it. He was at least like straight up.
She
with
did,
it.
yeah, she did.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
She was following her husband, so that just tells you too. When you doing that, you could be leading your woman to death too,
Right.
by doing that, by setting false words and doing all that stuff, and he's following your example. Yeah, you lead your whole family to a
You
ditch.
see that with Adam and Eve.
Hey,
right?
as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
in Daniel, right, in the book of Daniel, when all of the presidents over the province, they set up the unrighteous decree against Daniel, and they was like, yeah, well, they held the king to his words. They was like, nah, well, you said this and this and that, so
Yeah.
now you can't go back on your word. And then when Daniel didn't get ate up in the lions, then what was it, Darius, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken?
they wanted to know what
Yeah.
kind of Lord is this.
You know what I'm saying? But even then, Darius is like, oh, I see y'all was trying to be funny. Y'all trying to hold me to my words. And Daniel, God, helped him prevail and not be put to death. And he threw all of them in the lion's den and their families.
Yup, they all
got ate.
by their mouth.
The next
By their mouth, man. That's what put them in. Even with Salakia, even with the same book, man.
What is it?
Lord burnt their ass up.
Belshazzar. Well, not Daniel. The king Belshazzar, Darius. He was being pompous and proud at the feast, and then the Lord had the hand coming right. Yeah, the kingdom will be taken from you. The Persians coming.
God. So, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yeah, 7 are an abomination to him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that deceiveth wicked imaginations, and feet that be swift to running to mischief. A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth up discord among brethren.
5 of those cases is dealing with the
So the
tongue.
Lord hate all of those things, man.
5 of those cases is dealing with the
They're
tongue.
straight like that, man. Straight like that.
That's crazy.
The Lord hates that, man. The Lord don't get done like that,
I
man.
hate it, man.
Right, I got one real quick. Just the book of.
He said.
He said.
I'm about to say,
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools for they consider that they do not evil. Right? Verse 2 it says, be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart be happy to utter anything before the Most High. For the Most High in heaven, and thou upon earth, therefore let thy words be few. So he telling you shut the hell up sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what a father does, right? When a little kid up, hey man, shut your mouth, man, and listen. You know what I'm saying? Right. You ain't gotta talk. Don't talk amongst grown folks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't talk amongst the men of the Lord.
Yo, and real quick to go off of that, my bad. This is Ecclesiastes 7:5. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. Man. Right. So, hey man, when your dad tell you, man, just go in the room, man. You don't need to be in grown folks' business. Or, yo, man, why you out here pillow talking and so on and so forth, man? Or whatever, man. These men might not seem like wise men now through the spirit, but in the spirit, man, they was wise as hell, man, because they told you how they tell you the G code, which is these laws, statutes, commandments, and the prophets, man. You gotta understand, man. This the way we was brought up in life, man, that led us to where we is today, and we still apply those things to our lives, man. And it sits for the rest of our life, man. It's not even like it was just like for now, man. It was from the beginning. The Lord had did this, man.
Right. One more.
You said the last one. You know how brothers get down when you say the last one.
This is verse 3. It says, for a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by the multitude of words. Woo! You know what I'm saying? That just like we was talking about earlier, man. You just hearing your own self talk, man. You just
doctrine of
like,
fools.
I was about to say, what is it where it say? I think it's either Sirach or Proverbs, but it say like even a fool when he keepeth his mouth, that's his wisdom.
Yeah, I brought that out earlier.
I'm gonna get this real quick though. This is Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, right? Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations, man. So the Most High put us in the households that we was in the family we was in, so that we could come up and be the way that we are now, because that was the Most High moving us through the Spirit to be the men that we need to be today. The Most High chose us to be around those people, to come up in those situations so that we can know how to keep our tongue, how to move among brothers, man. Because you could tell just by the upbringing of certain brothers, man, that they ain't got it all together, man. And you got to be that brother to them to teach them, like, yo, man, you can't be doing that, man. Right.
That's all in a nutshell. That's what we saying. You got to examine yourself, man. Right? Ain't nobody perfect in this thing. But if you're doing something that's loud and explicit like that, you really got to go back to the drawing board, man.
Right. You got another thing?
Yeah, no.
I was about to say,
This is book of Micah, chapter 7, and verse 5. It says, trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Right. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Right. So you can't tell everything that you know to somebody just because, you know, they're your friend or whatever, because you got to understand, the scriptures tell us have one counselor of 1,000. Some people you can go to with this information, other people you can't. But you shouldn't be telling your rib every single thing that's
your
going
chest
on.
At night, you get all soft and you want to
in the world.
That's what I'm saying. Like they say, no pillow talking. If you are pillow talking, you get caught up.
And so like that's why my marriage, the first marriage I had, that's why that went down so bad, man. Because she always like, well, this brother do this and that brother do that. I'm like, I don't know what the hell what these brothers talking about. And then she was like, why don't you tell me what's going on? Because you don't need to know shit. That's exactly what I was saying. You need to stay in your place. You don't need to know shit, man.
Right. And Jake know that in the world, man. Like we was literally just talking about that on the way here. You know what I'm saying? You got rappers, they talk about, don't never tell a woman all your business, because one day she might be an eyewitness. Right. Then she gonna be telling all your stuff, man. How you out there?
That's like when you in the world, you selling drugs. You don't tell her what the status is.
Right. You don't take no females to the trap. Like, and
you stash could be up in her house and she don't even know.
But and it's like the scriptures tell us all wickedness is little to the wickedness of a woman. So why would you take information that's confidential and then go relay that to
a weaker vessel?
Right. Yeah. You setting yourself up for destruction.
Well, no. You had some?
No, that was it.
This is Galatians chapter 6 verse 2, because we gotta lift the brothers up, man, and we gotta be there for brothers. We can't just be expecting brothers brothers to know it all, man. Brothers, sometimes you gotta raise them up in this thing, man. Correct them, brother, man. So this Galatians 6:2, bear ye one another burdens, so fulfill the law of Hamashiach, man. So yeah, we gotta bear each other, brother. Hey, brother, man, you can't be doing that, man. You gotta do this, man. We just doing this for your betterment, though, man. When we coming on brothers, telling brothers, man, they can't do this, they can't do that, man. It's not because we trying to make the brothers into us. We know what it takes to be men in this thing and not seeming soft and weak and effeminate in this thing, man. Right. And that's why we express, open rebuke is better than secret love. Like, it's simple as that, man. We gotta rebuke the brothers, man.
That's why brothers should take notes. And when you do lessons like this, take it serious, man. Right? So you can be on the same page as the rest of the Akia. Or the nation, you know? But with that, unless a brother got something else, right? Like I said, all in a nutshell, we got to be examining ourselves and don't taint this gift that the Lord gave us, which is called brotherhood, man. Right? We got to look at it with an eagle's eye, man.
And we all we got.
Right? And like he said, man, we all we got. So with that, we're going to say Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Barakatah, Kwam Yasha'Allah.